Hi Dave. To download my creative project, you'll need to head to GitHub and then go to my creative project, download zip, then download, then just unzip it. I'll just extract it to my desktop. And there's the creative project. Then you open it. Then you have to install the program. And it momentarily opens. You then, the way this parser works is it reads in 2 lines at a time and saves the second line and prints it to a file. So if I open up a DXF file, you then head to the desktop where I just saved my creative project. You then, for the testing, you can pick any of these, simple, rectangle, and then just different plans. We'll open the first plan. You then set a save location for the file. So we'll just put it in the testing file as well. We'll just call this test. And you save that. Then a dialog box opens saying the file's been converted and the location of the file. So that's in the creative project, in the testing folder, and test.txt. So then when I click OK, the program will then close. So then we'll just double check that it is in the testing. Yep, it's there. So then we head over to Autodesk Maya. So this is obviously Autodesk Maya. To load our tool in, you literally just go to the script editor down here, or you can go to Windows, Windows Script Editor, and then you just literally File, Load Script. You then navigate to the correct folder where we save the project, and then it's just Maya tool. You then just open that. And this is just a tool. Let me just maximize this. Just okay. So this is a switch statement. So basically, we create a string of curves, which is an array, and then we list all the curve shapes into that array. We then select all the curves, and then it moves, rotates, and scales the object. It is literally just different cases. So when each button is pressed in the layout, it then just calls these different functions. So for extruding all the curves, for instance, you would set a string of all objects, which is an array again, and a string of just an object, and then you get all the objects of list type curve shape. And then for all objects in all objects, you then extrude them objects. So it is procedurally generated objects, rotation, extrusion, sorry. And then this just opens up a file format, a file dialog box, sorry. So you can open the converted DXF file. So right, if we just run this, and then I can go through it that way. It's just a bit easier. So if we just run that, it's alright. I'll explain each button. So this literally loads the text file, which is the converted DXF file. This then centers the object, as due to the DXF file, it positions it quite far away, which I'll show in a second. This literally extrudes all the curves to be able to turn the 2D object into a 3D object. You can also have the option to add a floor, just for visualization and extra modeling techniques. You can also center the pivot so it's easier to navigate to move the object, and you can also change the color or add a file, for instance, which I will show in a second. So if we load that file that we converted using the DXF parser, so if we navigate to where we saved it, and then it's just test.txt, literally just open that. So as you can see, nothing's here, but if we zoom out, it is here, and it's fairly big and very far away from the center. So if we go back to the center, we just click center, it scales it, rotates it, and moves it to a location which is easier to manipulate. So as you can see, it's just a 2D object. They're just curves. So right, if we then click extrude, if we turn on the shading, you can see that it's now a 3D object and it's been shaded. If you add a floor, it will just add floors here and here. So as you can see, if we get rid of the grid, that'll make it a bit easier to see. And there's a 3D object. So if we then select the move tool and then select it, you can see it's not quite in the center. So if we center it, why that's not centered, I think it's, if you select the faces and select it all, and then center, yeah, it moved then. But still, it's not 100% in the center. Okay, don't worry about that. So we can change the color to whatever you desire, or you can simply add a file. So then if you go over to here, you can, let's just select a file which I've got on here. It's just a random file. And if you turn on view, oh sorry, it's just hardware texturing, you can see that it's got a texture on it of my programming. But yeah, as you can see, it all works as it should. So let's try a different file. So we then delete this, go back to our DXF file parser, and if we select a separate file, we did plan one, let's just do a simple rectangle, and we call this just test 2, save, as again, file converted and the location. So if we go back to Maya, we get rid of this editor again. So right, if we select the second file that we have just converted, head to desktop, and the testing, test 2, open again. It will be very far away, as you can see, it's just hidden behind there. So if we put the grid back on, we can see it a little bit easier. Right, and then we just center it. It has now been centered and it's quite small. If we extrude that, it extrudes, add a floor, it then adds a floor, cent, I don't know if you've just selected all. That's what you have to do, sorry. You have to, before you select the floor, you have to center pivot then. No, it's not working. And there we are. That is my project. If you've got any questions, just drop me an email. I hope you like the project. And I feel that it does exactly what it was supposed to. Thank you.